Isabel. I'm Steve from Montreal Rocks. Nice to virtually meet you.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
That's great. I'm doing great. I'm living it up.
I think
You
I think
know,
you definitely are. It feels like everything is going like super well for you at the moment.
thank you. It's really, really fun. I'm sad that tour is over, but I'm excited to just go home and just keep working on stuff. In all honesty,
Yeah. So how was the tour? How's it been like
I
playing these
mean,
songs in front of people?
it's like, it's just so incredible. I mean, the crowds have been so amazing, honestly. And I think like I've grown up performing, but I think when we got to the first show, I was like, oh, this is a completely different animal. Holy shit. Um, but it's just like it's not it's like such a surreal experience. It's like, how do you even as I said, I'm starting to like kind of process it now, but it's just crazy. I'm grateful that people even show up.
Yeah. So when you say it's a different animal, in what way is it a different animal? And what kind of
It's
animal is it?
like I just remember like I've grown up doing, performances like I would do open mic nights and we'd do small little festivals where I grew up, and I've done a lot of those and I've performed a lot. But then the first crowd it was the smallest. It was like 500 people. I was like, oh my God, I am so nervous. That is a lot of people. And it's like there are people there for that show. It's not people just kind of like in passing, or like they don't really, they don't know who you are. Like they do. And it was just kind of like it felt like a lot more pressure. But then when it goes well, and they're super, super supportive, that it's like, I mean, a million times more fun, you know?
Yeah. Well, these people are there for you. Like they're invested already. And everybody just wants to have a great time. So everybody's like rooting for each other. You're rooting for them and they're
Yeah,
rooting for you. So
exactly. And I feel like people feed off energy so much, like people, like they really, if you're not feeling it, they're kind of like they do pick up on that, so it's like I always want to be feeling my best when I'm on stage. So
and then you've also got the new EP out, which
mhm.
is a beautiful thing, by the way.
Thank you.
Have you been playing these songs at the shows?
We've been playing More Than Friends and Praying.
Ah, sorry.
So no, you're so good. I made the mistake. The last show when the EP was out, I always say like, who wants to hear some unreleased music? I said that when the EP was out, and I was like, oh shit, no, it's actually out. My bad. But I had forgotten that it had released. It's like a script in my brain. But no, we've been playing More Than Friends and Praying, and they're super, super fun. I just love playing them live. It's interesting to see it before, like the reactions live before they release. It's a cool thing.
Yeah. So the EP is called You Fear the God That Loves You.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remember when you came up with that title?
I do. I was in Miami with Thomas. Thomas is my brother, and he's my producer, and we write everything together. Um, but we were in Miami. I think we were doing some writing there, and then we were just seeing family, and we would take like walks at night. And I was like, we have to like turn in what the EP title is, and I like have an idea of what I want it to be, but I wasn't sure. So this sounds so bad. We were searching up like quotes, like Bible quotes, and we were like, okay, like what, like we just needed like phrases to take inspiration from, and then we were like, oh, fear, and then God, and then it just kind of like happened. I was like, you fear the God that loves you. It holds a specific meaning for me. It just kind of came about in a random way.
What's the meaning for you?
I think it's like, for me, and praying talks a lot about it, is kind of like, I've grown up around religion a lot, like Christianity a lot. And I think that it's like, I was, with kids that grow like, because my parents are amazing and they're not like bad at all. But I've grown up with kids around me who are very like kind of suppressing households. And I think it's like, I don't know, it's a weird mix of like fear and like, it feels weird. Like you shouldn't fear somebody that's supposed to love you, like that feels weird to me. And I feel like that's what's always said, and it's so normal, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like you should fear God, but he loves you, but like, why should you do that if he loves you? So I don't know. It's like always something that I've grown up and I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, so that was kind of what it holds for me.
So you've grown up with religion around you, but you've also grown up with music. That's been there since pretty much day one, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So what's your first memory of music in your life?
My first memory of music, honestly, I think it was my dad. He's a jazz musician. I mean, he just likes jazz and he would, I think he had this like CD player or something that he would put on the piano and play jazz and different things from. We also listened to like a lot of Cuban and like Caribbean music. So I think like first memory, I honestly think it was just listening to what he had on the piano. And I was like, I don't like jazz. I was like, I don't care. But I think that was the first one for me.
Okay, so
that sounds bad.
Well, no, it doesn't. Like most kids don't really like what their parents.
Give me some Katy Perry. I was like,
I was going to ask, what was the first music that you claimed as your own that maybe your dad wasn't listening to?
I mean, I think definitely like major pop music, like Katy Perry and things like that. But I think the first music that I really like, it felt really like personal to me was like, I mean, Melanie Martinez and 21 Pilots and Lana, kind of like in that realm of Billy, definitely. So like kind of in that realm of stuff is when I was like, this is like my kind of music. Like this, I love this thing. It's like,
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned Billy there. There's definitely a few similarities here.
Yeah.
Which you're probably going to get bored of talking about.
But no. Oh my God. No, she's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing. I've seen her a couple of times. Like the first time I saw her was at a show that was like 700 people. And like a year later, she was headlining arenas. So it just shows like what can happen in a short space of time. And obviously things are happening for you very quickly at the moment. So like, I'm not going to manifest anything.
Just but, like speak it into existence,
Yeah, but there's definitely similarities, especially with you working with your brother and him doing helping with the production and that side of things. And even though it's fundamentally pop music, what you're doing, there's definitely dark undertones to it.
Yeah.
Where do you think that came from? Where do you think that element of your music came from?
It's kind of like hard to put my finger on. I mean, I've always loved dark stuff. Like I don't really know. It just kind of like that's what feels the most right for me. I mean, I've grown up watching a lot of like horror movies and darker movies and things like that. And I don't know, sometimes it's just a thing where it's like, and I've also grown up watching a lot of light movies, it's just like the thing that you gravitate towards the most. It's just, we before Haunted is like, I think where I was like, oh, this is what my like kind of like starting point of like my musical identity is like, that's what felt right to me. Kind of like clicked there, and we'd done like Game Boy is like a very, very bright song. And I love the song, but it just never had like the same effect for me, so I think it's just a really like a gut instinct thing.
So on the EP, where do you see the connection between the songs thematically or vibe or anything?
Definitely. I think that I wanted it to be about like have it go from light to dark, like start at the point where it feels the lightest with More Than Friends and then end all the way with Praying, which is definitely the darkest in my mind. And I think it almost goes through like, I like the order to feel like it almost goes through like different stages of like almost like grief, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's super light and like, romanticized at the beginning. And then it's like, yeah, you get the idea. But I just wanted it to feel like a progression of like emotion. So,
well, I think it does that brilliantly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like, I can't wait to hear a full album from you because taking us on a journey through a complete album would be something
that'll be fun.
Yeah. Are you ready for that? Are you even thinking about that yet?
I mean, I think I would love to do an album. I think it's really just a timing thing. I mean, I always use the comparison because I think right now it's really applicable. But like Olivia Rodrigo and Sour, like she dropped that at the exact right time, when she had like every set of eyes was on her, and then she dropped the album and it was huge. And I think that like right now, because everything's so short form, it's hard to like get albums as a whole to be as big, I feel like, as they were instead of just singles. So I think that I want to get to the point where we have the right amount of attention and like it's just the right time to drop it. I would love to.
I want to talk a little bit about the music you've been listening to. You know, you mentioned a few things from your childhood. What do you think is the album that you've listened to more than any others?
Honestly, probably. Oh, I mean, also The Neighborhood is a huge one for me. Probably Crybaby by Melanie Martinez or Blurry Face, 21 Pilots, in all honesty. Or like Wiped Out, The Neighborhood.
Nice.
You know.
And what about other new music? Like people that are coming up alongside you? Is there anybody that's exciting you at the moment?
Absolutely. I mean, I think David, like D4DV, so cool. Thanks So Much is so cool. I mean, Ethel Cain, she's amazing. There are just a lot
There's
of
definitely
really,
some similarities with Ethel as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. She's amazing. I think that, I mean, there are a lot of, I'm blanking right now, but there are so many cool artists, and I think that it's just such a like, I mean, Nessa, obviously, that goes without saying. But it's like, it's just such a cool time, and I'm really excited about the people that I feel like we're like all coming up at the same time. They're such cool artists. I'm honored to be coming up with them, I would hope.
Yeah. No, it feels like a really interesting time, especially for pop music. Pop music seems to have taken like lots of different turns over recent years, and I think what you're doing is a big part of that, even though it's like uniquely you. So I'm excited to see what you're going to do next. So what's the rest of the year looking like for you?
I honestly, I mean, I know that Thomas and I are going to go back to Maryland, and we're going to work on music. And I think that we're playing Lollapalooza, which should be so fun.
Cool.
And we're going to do some shows in the UK, which are going to be super, super fun. But I honestly don't, it's really just a matter of me. Like, we're going back to Maryland and working on new stuff and doing a bunch of teasing. And then it's kind of the same process. It's like, I feel like it's not super entertaining, but I really don't know, like, what exactly the rest of the year will bring.
Just right in the way.
Just trying to go back and do what I should be doing, and then see what happens with it, you know.
Good luck with everything. It just seems like everything's going from strength to strength with you, and much deserved. And it's I really love what you're doing. It's really
thank you
different, and yeah, like I say, I'm excited to see what you do next. But,
thank you.
Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, of course. I really appreciate you guys having me. I thank you, and I apologize I was a few minutes late, but I'm usually not. As I woke up very late, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
It's all good. It's all rock and roll.
Exactly. But no, I really appreciate you guys having me.
I think I need someone older, just a little bit colder.